1/2 inch?
Yeah. Can I have a look at your side?
No, it's my side. You look at your side.
My side is fine. So we are doing something that you better not do.
So we're gonna cut out a piece of that engine mount bracket. It's always just a hair where this thing does not want to come out. And it's driving me nuts every time. So we're gonna file this a little bit. And then we're gonna read our comments on, oh, you weakened the engine mount. It's gonna fall out.
So torque to 110 Newton meters again.
I know you can get it out, okay? I got it out 100 times myself, but it's painful. Especially if you're lying down in the sand on the Simpson Desert like we every second day, okay? I mean, what would grumpy old man over in Australia say if he has to do that?
I'm not saying anything.
Oh my God.
Check that out. Look, this is now a piece of cake. I can put that starter in and out whole day long. This is easier than on a Toyota.
Oh, don't push it.
Everybody can do that with a coarse file, okay? I assume you could even cut this away in the vehicle with a die grinder. You save yourself a lot of hassle.
Yep.
And you had to jiggle this thing around overhead and sweaty and your wife is waiting. And okay, we're gonna put on the dual mass flywheel onto the engine block and then we install our clutch.
So, and the flywheel and the clutch needs to be installed before we can install the engine into the frame, which we hope to do today.
I'm gonna use new bolts from Land Rover to mount the dual mass flywheel. Mine are M10x47. So the dual mass flywheel fits only in one orientation, with this hole aligned to this hole. Even if there is no dowel pin. My third hand is holding the camera. So I'm gonna have to put this onto the crankshaft, and it says not to hammer it onto the crankshaft. This is the first dual mass flywheel I'm installing in my life. Now my crankshaft locking pin should go in now because I have the crankshaft still set in the timing position. Use Vera's camera with the light on it and look inside here and see if there is a hole. And there is none. Because I missed the bolt hole. So, but still, we act like it was correct, and now I correct it, and then we continue the video.
It is very satisfying when my car gets new bolts, I have to say.
Now I'm gonna get them all finger tight, here seated. Now you see that the flywheel actually has slop, and it doesn't have a dowel pin. That's why it's now important to have the engine in the timing position up front. And now, in order to find the correct position for the flywheel, I actually got to lock in the timing pin above the starter motor aperture. Now, this is a different procedure as you would use when you do your timing belt, because you don't loosen your flywheel. But if you have your flywheel loose, you have this amount of slop and you have to get it back into position. Otherwise, your timing will be off. Take Vera's camera from the camera girl. Here you can see it's already in the timing position roughly. Insert my locking pin here. It should go in when Vera is wiggling the wheel a little. Yeah, there it is. If I would not do this alignment and I just bolt it on, see how much slop I have here? And I know I'm in the timing position because I have this marked here from the time when I had my crankshaft locking pin in, okay? That's very important, this step. I actually use that pin to lock the flywheel now. And now I can use my torque wrench and tighten these. Are you impressed yet?
Yes, I'm so completely impressed. So here we got the locking pin bolted in place. That's not our torque wrench.
This is the torque specification. So first stage is 50 Newton meters.
And then twice 45. With a min of 80 Newton meters. Okay.
I torque these in 2 patterns across. So I'm marking 1 pattern here to make sure I'm not getting all confused. It's critical because you don't want to introduce any runout. Now the second pattern. Very well. Stage 2 is 45 degrees. Stage 3 another 45 degrees. I need to reach a min torque of 80 Newton meters and I want to hear it click.
You can actually use the other torque wrench.
Well, the bigger is better. That's what you always say. 45, you help me stopping. There's 45. We need a minimum torque of 80. So now I gotta do 45 again. And I'm supposed to hear a click at 80. Okay, now I'm happy. And I'm glad I bought new bolts there, because they do get stretched quite a bit.
I'm just gonna be...
Now, what we need to do now is measure the runout of this plate.
Oh, really?
And it gotta be below 0.15. That's very little runout.
Yeah, and it's unlikely.
The timing pin out now. I got an indicator now mounted. Slowly rotate this, and I hope it's not moving too far away.
How far away is too far?
If it goes, there's 10, if it goes to 15.
It's at 3 always. Between. Oh! Yeah, it went.
Past the other side?
Yeah.
How far?
Probably past 10.
Oh, that's better than a tenth of a millimeter.
Yeah, no. It was too far.
No, it was not. Whenever I look, it's below 10.
No.
That's just a bump, okay?
No.
It's the average of what you see, because
Yeah.
there's sometimes a bump in a tooth. You have to look at the average.
Yeah, let me feel. Stop.
Okay.
Okay, there's a bump.
Okay, is it close now? For me, we went all the way around, and it's better than 0.15. Why don't you crank it then? Okay, so now I can enjoy watching the indicator here. You have to go, no, other direction.
So watch it.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
Well, that's a quarter.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Wait a second. Another quarter.
Yeah. Definitely in spec.
So now the last quarter.
Ooh,
What?
turn forward. Okay, hang on, let me fix that.
What the?
It's definitely in spec. So you can stop turning.
No, I have to go one more quarter.
Oh, damn it. Okay. Okay, then something moved. You are jerking it too much. The crankshaft in the end float moves in and out. You're not allowed to jerk it that much. See right here?
No, there's no floating.
Okay, hit the front.
No.
You're kissing it. You're supposed to hammer it. There you go. Now we're back. We're back where we're supposed to be. So I tell you, everything is good. It says in the manual maximum TIR on the flywheel 0.15, and we are in that range. Next we're gonna mount the clutch, but there is one little hurdle. First of all, we have to find the bolts for it.
Oh my God.
Second of all, we're gonna have to make an arbor to locate the clutch onto the dual mass flywheel.
You mean to tell me it's not a plug and play procedure?
No, it needs an arbor.
Oh.
So
What
Yes.
are we doing?
We gotta hawk out some material first.
Hawk out?
Hawk out some material. My lace is not as strong as the one from
Cutting edge?
cutting edge, so this takes a little longer. It's good, it goes on.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay? No, 18 millimeter.
18.
Let's see how accurate my machine still is. Huh?
15?
We can knock it in with a hammer.
Yeah.
I told you before, bigger is better.
Cool. Oh, I'm gonna change the battery first.
Do not get any brake cleaner on the inside. There is a mechanism here on the dual mass flywheel which is sensitive to brake cleaner. It says that in the assembly instruction from Luke, which we found by scanning the barcode on the box. That same assembly instruction does not say anything about lubricating the inside bearing. If I reach in there, there is lubrication inside. It's not dry. And most of the time, bearings like this get over lubricated. Then they heat up too much by basically walking that grease too much, and then it blows the seal and the grease comes out. So it's a chain reaction, okay? Like when a plane crashes. So I do not lubricate that inner bearing because it is not specified in the assembly instruction. And it says on here.
Getriebeseite.
And what does that mean?
Transmission.
That's a little bit of a benefit. If you speak German, I put this in here, very precise fit. And now I expect this to fit in here.
Ah, look at that, how beautiful.
Oh, I should have made it slightly longer. We're gonna edit the video.
You dropped it and it said in the instruction, do not drop under any circumstances.
Well, it didn't drop from very high.
Oh my God, my
clutch
clutch is gonna be.
So I'm gonna have to machine this shoulder.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Deeper.
Oh my God, there's a little bit missing. So later he's gonna blame me and my driving behavior if the clutch acts funny. Well, there's a point of impact.
A point of impact where? There.
Yeah.
Point of impact gone. That's gonna give the desktop mechanic something to run. This hocked out a little more. And I try not to drop it again.
Oh my God.
So,
don't drop it, don't drop it.
Is Getriebeseite now out?
No, of course not. Now he's gonna mount it wrong. Yes.
Now,
okay,
here.
Good.
Now this piece goes on. Pressure plate gotta be clean. There's already rust on it.
Yeah.
That's how long we stored it. I don't want to drop it again.
No, please don't.
My wife. See it there? Oh, this is quite precise. So we got new bolts here from Land Rover.
Yeah.
And I gotta put them in here. Okay, now it can't drop anymore. I have to wind them in now evenly. So I'm tightening the clutch evenly. That is important. I think it's the first clutch I'm installing in my life.
We changed the clutch on my Freelander, and the flywheel broke on our Firebird.
Oh, yeah.
350,
right.
Formula 350.
We already did 2 clutches.
Yes, and we did them together. I'm still traumatized by the Freelander clutch, I can tell you that.
Here, and I gotta go now around, okay?
2 hours later.
Now I'm seated. Give me the torque.
He's got to go to 23 to 29 Newton meters.
So I go to 27.6.
Yes. I told you you're already at the torque.
No, you see it moving. I have it at 27.6.
Oh, 0.6.
I gotta go to 29.
Yes.
Some dual mass flywheels are delivered with a shipping plug in the dual mass flywheel, okay? This one didn't have one.
Oh my God. Now I'm stressed. Shit.
But I did not in particular look. But I'm so smart that I know it wouldn't do this if there is a shipping plug in. And this tool goes into our tool assortment stash. And the engine is ready for install. And we got to get the frame in here. That will be interesting.
Yes, that will be really interesting. Oh my God. So this goes into our special tool stash. So we need our pit. And guess what? He left my step down in the pit.
So we put on some guardrails here so our engine hoist does not fall into the pit. You're gonna push it with your knee, okay? This way?
What?
And the wheel's gotta be in here.
I'm just fat.
I wonder if we have to put it over to the other side a little bit. If it's not even, it's harder to get my engine frame in here. We maneuver it back and forth 1 or 2 more times. Okay. So what we're doing here is We actually lubricated the spline of the clutch where the clutch wheel slips back and forth with a special lubrication called Metaflux out of Switzerland. Land Rover specifies absolutely no lubrication, and it must be dry because they are afraid that the lubrication gets onto the friction disc and from there causes then a clutch to slip. But I had a Dodge Challenger before, which developed here threading rust, and the threading rust made the wheel jam, and then there was of course a high axial force, and that force made the gear shift really tough, and they came out with a recall specifying this lubrication lightly applied and then removed with a toothbrush. So I got this nicely and very thin coated and brushed on, and now I wipe it back off. So this is good enough, and you can see it got a nice silverish look now, because this is some sort of an anti-seize called Metaflux, good for 2200 degrees. I give it a push, you give it a steer. Steht noch ein klein bisschen mehr. Sorry guys, we gotta talk German on something important like this. A little further. Swing your side in towards the engine transmission. Half inch.
Yeah. Can I have a look at your side?
No, that's my side. You look at your side.
My side is fine.
It needs to go into that hole.
But not 4, because...
There we go, now I'm in. This hole needs to line up to this hole.
Oh,
so the
that's
transmission tilted over quite far. Here, you take the wood out.
Both?
No, just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, put these long ones in.
No, the long ones go to the
I know,
starter.
I gotta put the long ones in. Everything needs to be discussed in a marriage. Okay.
Oh my God, I was sweaty. It's so
Ow. Damn.
Lower it again. Yeah. Oh, now it's good.
If you're already in and she says no, it's not, it's a bad thing. Okay, my side is in.
Mine not.
Yeah? Yeah, I wiggle the side over. And?
No.
Loose?
No.
Good. That's it. We're on the engine mounts.
Yeah, no, it's closed.
That's closed.
The transmission bolts got torqued to 40 Newton meters. So tightening the engine mounting bolts to 90 Newton meters, we are back to using extensions. Oh, I'm here. I'm not getting down. So now we're done. That was a successful day. We altered the starter mounting bracket. Then we installed the dual flywheel
Thingy.
And the clutch.
And the only mishap was that I dropped the clutch plate.
I don't know if he's going to put that in the video, but he did drop the clutch plate. So you got to open your diesel lines right before you plug them in their final port. So now we are at the fun stuff.
That no dirt got into our injection system.
Perfect.
Did you guys ever see such a clean intake manifold on a Discovery?
Spotless inside.
So if you want to know how you can effortless clean this in the Heisenberg way, go check out our video. You're gonna love it. I do put some silicone grease on there, and then this gets fitted in here. See guys how quick that goes if somebody hands you the tools?
Yeah.
Click, click, EGR pipe installed.
Perfect.
There we go.
Oh my God.
We may have to take that off again.
Soon.
If I ever want to take this off in the vehicle, I would have no chance to get there. And I leave it all nice and sharp.
Ah! Perfect. Actually, he made that tool for the transfer case. The upper two bolts.
Click, click. Click, click. The gasket. There we go.
Where does that go? Before or behind the crossover pipe? I would do it above the crossover pipe.
Are you stressing me?
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
What's important here is that you got the mounting bracket still loose and the crossover pipe is still nice and wiggly in here. Then you tighten the flanges and then you tighten the assembly bracket. If you do that the other way around, your crossover pipe will crack.
Click, 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 click. Perfect.
So that was a scary moment. I lost the camera, but Christian came to the rescue and found it. So when we took out the radiator, Christian decided immediately that piece needed to be replaced.
Yeah, check this out, how satisfying this is.
Yeah.
Look at that. Okay. Goes on just like the old one came off. Oh.
Plug and play, like a Toyota.
If the air conditioning was open that long as here during this repair, the dryer needs to be replaced. Look for it there behind you.
Yes.
Make sure it comes with new O-rings. Also the dryer comes all sealed, and when I peel off the paper I want to hear some air pulling in. So do not use a metal pick on this aluminum crap. You're gonna scratch it and then it's not gonna seal. So use a plastic pick, what you get when fixing an iPhone.
Ah, that's where we got it.
So that's looking decent. Put some silicone grease on here.
It's always a challenge with O-rings.
And the O-rings should seat nicely, very nice. This gets 9 Newton meters. Click, click. The next guy taking this apart will be that person working at the junkyard. New ceiling rings.
OEM.
Power steering banjo bolt gets 25 Newton meters. The seal rings do consist of rubber, so it's very unlikely that it needs a very high torque.
Yeah. And Land Rover calls it the feed pipe union nut. My coolant hoses look like an octopus.
We did get a new coolant hose kit as a gift from Niklas Herskind. Thank you very much for sending this to us. He also sent us a brand new Land Rover genuine thermostat. So we will be using this genuine part instead of this aftermarket part here. There are 2 different thermostats depending if you have an EU3 or an EU4 engine on the LR3. So before I take anything apart here, I do mark how those hoses go back on my old unit and on the new unit.
So that's actually the only hose we have to take from our old coolant hose system.
There's some really violent tool what I have
Oh
here.
my God.
Okay, with that tool, you gotta be careful. I just use it to slip around here one more time. Yeah. And I don't want to poke into the hose with it. So, but once I use this tool, the hoses always come off. If I would be smart, I would just grind off that tip. And I put this hose back on, and I got it here nicely marked.
Yeah,
so I know exactly where the alignment is and how far the hose goes back in, including where my clip went. Everything is now perfectly aligned. So this goes now into the vehicle. Done. Radiator goes in.
It looks like a Rolls Royce again.
There we go. Brand new hose installed. There we go.
He even torques the clamp hoses.
2.5 to 3 Newton meters are those. Click, click.
Perfect. So that one goes then to the body. You can just grind it off right now also.
While we are still here.
Yeah, while the body is still off. Last minute cleaning.
Like new.
Yeah.
V6 Lion.
Yeah.
Put this in now. Potentially not rubbing it on my radiator.
Oh, L319.
Doesn't say that anywhere on the car.
So the oil sump.
Okay, that's like the last piece and then we're done. There's a new gasket here. And that's not interesting for anybody. Winch is installed. If you want to see how we built that winch mount bracket and how we attached it to our Discovery, there's a video about this, actually 2 videos. So
And our Patreons have access to the winch mount drawings.
mounting our recovery eye here. And that is an M20. So that's it. We're completely finished. And the next step is to get the body ready and get this thing completely finished.
So we're talking about another 4 weeks.
Yeah, I just summed it up. It's another 4 weeks. Every coolant hose, every tie wrap, every cable routing is double checked and verified.
And we even cleaned up that area again right now because
There was an error.
You're not going to get there anymore once the body is on.
The winch is in, 50% new coolant hoses are in, steering system is in. That's it for this video. I hope you liked it. And at this time, we want to thank our patrons a lot for their support, and we'll see you
Next Sunday.
very well.